Hi everyone, welcome to our channel Curiosity. Today we will be explaining you about sensory neural hearing loss. I have already discussed about conductive hearing loss. So now moving on to the sensory neural hearing loss. So here we have to consider about cochlea and the nerve. That is the 8th cranial nerve. So this medicine surgery for sensory neural hearing loss is not that appropriate. We have to go for hearing aid. So the sensory in sensory neural hearing loss means the cochlear component and neural means the auditory nerve. So there is an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. It's an acronym. So A for aging. These are the causes of sensory neural hearing loss. So when we get aged, there can be a hearing loss due to aging. It is called as presbycusis. There is sensory presbycusis, neural presbycusis, conductive presbycusis, and strial presbycusis. There are other types also that will be put on later. The B go for benign tumors. For example, vestibular schwannoma. In vestibular schwannoma, there is a tumor in 8th cranial nerve and that leads to sensory neural hearing loss. And C is for congenital. So by birth itself, there can be a craniofacial anomaly and aplasia. That is like a partial or total absence of cochlea or the 8th cranial nerve. And D goes for drugs. Some drugs like which is used for the treatment of heart disease and for cancers like cisplatin and all can cause sensory neural hearing loss, which is termed as ototoxicity. And going on to the E, it's explosion. So a sudden impulsive explosion can result in a sensory neural hearing loss. It will be sudden and the degree can be highly variable. So if you move on to F, it will be fracture. Due to RTAs, that is like road transport accidents, there can be a fracture and that can result in damage to the cochlea or the nervous systems. And going on to the G, that is genetic mutations. Some genetic mutations can result in sensory neural hearing loss. That mutation, there will be, this is the DNA and there will be a mutated gene which cause a sensory neural hearing loss. And moving on to the H, it's hereditary. So if a parent is a carrier of a particular genotype, see the small r is a carrier gene. So these parents will be carrier. They won't be expressing this character, but if a child who have a small r, the child will be affected. And the child expresses the hearing loss characteristics. And I goes for infections. Some infections like torch can cause sensory neural hearing loss. I'll explain what is torch. T go for toxoplasma, R for rubella, C for cytomegalovirus, H for herpes, and C for syphilis. And there are some other infections also. So this can vary in degrees like mild to severe, and it can some of the infections can have resulted in profound hearing losses also. So it can be gradual and progressive hearing losses or sudden or static hearing losses. So if you take the cross section of the cochlea, we know that there are many lymphatic structures like endolymph. It is filled with endolymph and perilymph. So if there is some infection and thereby meningitis, the lymph fluids get affected and that can lead to hearing loss. So there are many other conditions also. I thank you for watching the video.